Huashan, situated in Hualien City, China. Mount Huashan is 120 kilometers from Xi'an. It is famous for natural vista of steep and narrow paths, precipitous crags and a high mountain range. It is the western mountain of the 5 great mountains of China and has a long history of religious significance. Its 5 peaks are the representative attractions and each has its distinctive charms. East Peak is the best place to enjoy the sunrise. South Peak has the highest altitude. West Peak is the most elegant. North Peak is famous as the Cloud Terrace Peak and Middle Peak is also called Jade Lady Peak. The Mount Huashan is also home to several influential Taoist temples, where many emperors of past dynasties took part in Taoist activities and sacrificed to the god of mountain, making it a holy land of Taoism. At its foot are the representatives of its Taoist elements. As early as the 2nd century BC, there was a Taoist temple known as the Shrine of the Western Peak located at its base. Taoists believed that in the mountain lives the god of the underworld. The temple at the foot of the mountain was often used for spirit mediums to contact the god and his underlings. Unlike Shan, which became a popular place of pilgrimage, Huashan, because of the inaccessibility of its summits, only received imperial and local pilgrims, and was not well visited by pilgrims from the rest of China. Huashan was also an important place for immortality seekers, as many herbal Chinese medicines are grown and powerful drugs were reputed to be found there. Kuqianzai, the founder of the Northern Celestial Masters, received revelations there, as did Chen Tuan, who spent the last part of his life in hermitage on the West Peak. In the 1230s, all the temples on the mountain came under control of the Taoist Queensland School. In 1998, the management committee of Huashan agreed to turn over most of the mountain's temples to the China Taoist Association. This was done to help protect the environment, as the presence of Taoists and nuns deters poachers and loggers. Traditionally, only the giant plateau with its summits to the south of the peak Yuanfeng was called Huashan. It could only be accessed through the ridge known as Kanglongling until a second trail was built in the 1980s to go around Kanglongling. 3 peaks were identified with respective summits: the East, South and West peaks. The East Peak consists of 4 summits. The highest summit is Zheoyangfeng. Its elevation is reported to be 6,877 feet and its name is often used as the name for the whole East Peak. To the east of Zheoyangfeng is Shilufeng. To the south is Botaifeng and to the west is Yunufeng. Today, Yunufeng considered its own peak, most central on the mountain. The South Peak consists of 3 summits. The highest summit is Liuoyanfeng, with an elevation of 7,067 feet. To the east is Songyifeng and to the west is Xiaozifeng. The West Peak has only 1 summit and it is known as Lianhuafeng or Furongfeng, both meaning Lotus Flower Summit. The elevation is 6,831 feet. With the development of new trail to Huashan in the 3rd through 5th century along the Huashan Gorge, the peak immediately to the north of Kanglongling, Untitled, was identified as the North Peak. It is the lowest of the 5 peaks with an elevation of 5,298 feet. Huashan has a variety of temples and other religious structures on its slopes and peaks. At the foot of the mountains is the cloister of the Jade Spring, which is dedicated to Chen Tuan. Additionally, atop the southernmost peak, there is an ancient Taoist temple which in modern times has been converted into a tea house. The route up the mountain has been named as one of the most dangerous hikes in the world. There are 3 routes leading to Huashan's North Peak, the lowest of the mountain's 5 major peaks. The most popular is the traditional route in Huashanyu, first developed in the 3rd to 4th century AD with successive expansion, mostly during the Tang dynasty. It winds for 6 kilometers from Huashan village to the North Peak. A new route in Huangpu follows the cable car to the North Peak, and is actually the ancient trail used prior to the Tang dynasty, which has since fallen into disrepair. It had only been known to local villagers living nearby at the gorges since 1949, when a group of 7 People's Liberation Army soldiers with a local guide used this route to climb to the North Peak and captured over 100 Kuomintang soldiers stationed on the North Peak and along the path of the traditional route. This trail is now known as the Intelligent Takeover Route of Huashan, and was reinforced in early 2000. The cable car system stations are built next to the beginning and ends of this trail. A second cable car line, to the West Peak, was opened in 2013. From the North Peak, a series of paths rise up to the Kanglongling, which is a climb more than 984 feet on top of a mountain ridge. This was the only trail to go to the 4 other peaks: the West Peak, the Center Peak, the East Peak and the South Peak, until a new path was built to the east around the ridge in 1998. Huashan has historically been a place of retreat for hardy hermits, whether Taoist, Buddhist or other. Access to the mountain was only deliberately available to the strong-willed, or those who had found the way. With greater mobility and prosperity, Chinese, particularly students, began to test their mettle and visit in the 1980s.